Season 5 of The Score, the Team Roping Journal's podcast, where we cover the roping industry from top to bottom. This is where the team roping world talks. We talk through tough subjects, we talk big wins, and we talk real issues affecting the community. I'm your host and editor of the Team Roping Journal, Chelsea Schaefer.
Hey Team Ropers, welcome back to The Short Score. I'm your host, Jenna Link. On this week's episode, our editor at the Team Roping Journal and host of The Score, Chelsea Schaefer, got to talk with Clay Smith and Jake Long, who just won the Ellensburg ProRodeo with a total time of 14.9 seconds on 3 head, worth $4,753 each. This win boosted Clay Smith from number 20 to number 14 in the world standings, and Jake Long to number 2 in the world standings. You'll get the full story online at teamropingjournal.com this week, but today you'll get to hear their interviews with Chelsea on this episode, brought to you by Purina. First, Chelsea talks with Clay Smith.
How are you, sir?
Oh, doing good.
I bet. Did you drive all night to Blackfoot, or how far was it?
No, we made it to Jerome. We made it to Jerome, Idaho, last night. We're about 2 hours from Blackfoot now.
I see.
Yeah, we didn't get here until probably like 2:30, something like that.
Were you riding high on adrenaline at that point?
Yes, we've been doing some traveling quite a bit, so we was pretty tired, but yes, it made the drive a lot better after yesterday.
How are you feeling? Is it hurting at all?
No, I'm a lot better. Like it's not. It's just kind of more of an inconvenience now, you know. Like it's kind of hard to do things that shouldn't be that hard to do. But no, as far as hurting, no, I'm not hurting. I'm in pretty good shape. It's just kind of, like I said, it's just kind of a pain in the butt because I can do just enough to almost kind of be in the way.
Yeah.
Most of the time, but no, I'm way better.
Have you been riding Flinny everywhere?
Pretty much. I rode a General a few times, but pretty much I've just rode Flinny for the most part, pretty much everywhere. He's done good for me. I've just tried to stay on him. He's been doing pretty good for me.
Why is he working so well for you right now in your condition?
He's just, I don't know if he's the fastest horse that there is, but I've rode some pretty fast horses, and he's the fastest horse I've ever rode. And so like, it's easy for him. Like him, almost the faster the cow, almost the better he is. Like really, like I don't want to draw a fast cow. I'm not saying I want to draw runners, but I'm just saying like he's so fast that it makes it easier, just because like you don't even have to worry about kicking him, you know, and you can just kind of sit there and then the way that he turns off, you don't really ever have any duck to get your rope or anything like that. And, but no, he's been pretty good for me, and scores good enough to where if I break the barrier, you know, it's my fault, and he hasn't dinked me scoring, and so I've been pretty lucky to have him. Really, I wasn't planning on rodeoing on him at all. He's 8 this year, and I wasn't planning on rodeoing on him this year. I was planning on just, you know, using him at the big jackpots, and I had General for the rodeos and stuff, and I wasn't planning on General and Marty, I guess now, but I wasn't planning on riding him much at the rodeos. And then after I got hurt, I thought he might be the best one I could ride. And then after I practiced on him the first time, I thought that was probably the right horse for me to be on, just because he's doing nothing but thinking about running to the cow, so it makes it a lot easier.
And remind me of the whole story on that horse.
He's had like 6 different owners. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Gary McKinney raised him. He's by Corona Cartel. Gary McKinney raised him, sells him to Trevor. And I think Trevor and Chad, ran barrels on him for a little bit. And then they started team roping on him. And then they sell him to White Imus. And then they sell him to, from Imus, then he goes to like Driggers. And then he goes from Imus to Driggers, I think, or maybe Driggers to Imus, but either one. And then he goes from maybe Driggers to Clint Summers as a 6-year-old. And then my father-in-law bought him as maybe a 7-year-old. He had him for about a year, and then I rode him quite a bit when he had him. And then I actually talked him into selling to me, and I bought him from my father-in-law the spring this year or something. I was riding him so much I kind of felt bad about borrowing him all the time, but there was somebody that was wanting to buy him from my father-in-law, and I was like, man, I would feel stupid if I let him go, because I knew how fast he was. He's the fastest horse I've ever rode. I've never headed on a horse that's as fast as him, and I thought one of these days I probably would regret, seeing him go somewhere else. But I didn't really realize at the time how valuable he would be, and he's turned out to be real valuable to me.
Yeah. Are you feeling anxious at all right now, Clay? Like with being where you are in the world standings and everything that's going on, do you have anxiety about this?
No, this week, which it's kind of weird because when the new week starts, it's almost like you kind of take a deep breath, like a little bit, like it's kind of like, all right, well, we're all back to square one again. But I guess this week, is the first time I've been in the top 15 since, I don't know, July, probably, sometime mid-July. But it makes me breathe a little easier, but I know that it's not even close to being over, there's a lot of stuff, but it's just kind of nice to be back even, I would just say back even again with everybody. And so now it's just kind of like you don't have to run over the top of yourself. It don't feel like, you just need to do your job. But I'm just, like I said, I'm real thankful that I've even got a chance to do this, because, I didn't know. I was hoping to do good, but you don't really know how good it'll go until you actually do it. And so I'm pretty thankful that it's went as good as it has, and it hasn't gone that good. And I haven't roped. It ain't like I've roped really that good either. It's just things that just went right. And Jake's roped really, really good for me. And but I'm ready for it to be. I'm ready for it to be over with. But.
Yeah, one way or another. Did you know that steer that you had in the short round there at Ellensburg?
Yes, yeah, we knew him, or I say we had seen both guys roping before we had him, and we knew that he maybe was going to step left a little bit, but as far as speed wise, we knew he was pretty good speed, and so and the way the short round, you don't ever know how these short rounds are going to go out here. Like Kennewick, we snuck in the short round at Kennewick, and it was only about a second, maybe a little over a second off a high callback, and we go 6 flat in the short round, don't win a dime. And so, like, we didn't have no idea really how it was going to be. I figured it would probably be pretty tough, the short round. But then the way it turned out, when we rode in, we had to be some kind of probably mid-6 or something, and there was some people that had some trouble in the short round, and so it made it kind of where he was able to take a deep breath and kind of like not have to worry about just drilling the barrier. So I seen him out probably too far, but it made it nice just to kind of go catch one.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me about your upper body facing. Like, what are you physically having to do to get faced? And is that something that's going to be like a bad habit for you when you have full use of your leg, or do you think you can stop doing that?
I hope not. I hope not, but I really don't. I don't know. I kind of feel like a wild man up there trying to get turned around, but like I'm trying to use right leg a little, left leg, body, right rein, kind of whatever it takes. And mostly it's Jake back there pulling on him that's helping me more than anything, probably. But I can't wait to be able to use my right leg and my right spur again. That's what's going to be fun for me, bad for my horses probably, because I'm going to be ready to spur something.
Yeah, I feel so I hold my breath because you've been roping. I feel like you've been roping so good. Every time I see you rope, I'm like, oh gosh, he looks so sharp. But then I just am like, please face, and that's not anything to do with your horse. It's just I see that you can't really help him as much as you want to.
Oh, he knows I can't he knows where I'm at right now too. So he's like, yeah, I can kind of just ease around, not have to worry about getting spurred. Actually, I'm looking at him right now. We just got him saddled, and we're fixing to do some logging right now. So.
Oh, good. Is Jake gonna log him?
No, I'm gonna log him. We got a couple little techniques we're gonna be doing today, and so we're gonna see if it helps this week.
Really? Like new techniques or just stuff you've done your whole life?
Nah, it's just some
secrets.
Some out of the box kind of stuff. I don't know if it's gonna work or not, but we're gonna try it and see.
Okay, if it works, will you tell me about it? About what you did?
If I get really good flags this week, then we'll talk about it. If I fall off, then we'll know it didn't work.
Well, if you fall off, maybe it worked too good, but
yeah, right. That would be fine too. If I almost fell off from facing out from underneath them, that'd be a good thing.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you, Clay. I appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye.
Level up your horse's performance this season with choices from Purina Animal Nutrition. From Purina Ultium Competition Formula to Purina Impact Pro Performance and everything in between, Purina has the right option for your horse, including supplements like Purina Super Sport Amino Acid Supplement, Purina Amplify High Fat Supplement, and Purina Outlast Gastric Support Supplement. There are many choices for optimal nutrition with when you choose Purina, all backed by science. Level up your performance this season and put Purina's research to the test. Ask for Purina at your local feed retailer today. Next, Chelsea talks with Jake Long.
Fully unprepared. I'm ready.
Oh, good. Yes. I mean, I'm going to have the hardest questions that you've ever.
I know. I'm pretty nervous.
It's like we've never done this before. I know you're safe, obviously, but are you nervous for your partner? Like, tell me about how you're feeling with trying to get Clay in right now.
Well, I mean, I don't really necessarily know if it's something to be nervous about. I mean, ultimately, you're just going to have to rope good, and it's coming down to the end. We need to do good, but it ultimately just comes down to making good runs and doing good at the rodeos.
Mm-hmm. Because there is a narrowing time window here. Were you nervous at all riding into the box in Ellensburg, or were you comfortable because you had a little bit of cushion there?
No, I mean, the short round was kind of falling apart a little bit,
mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean, I was a little bit nervous, just in a sense of like, that was a big moment for us. We dang sure needed to catch that steer and do good. Winning first place wasn't necessarily a thing that was on our minds, but we
mm-hmm.
knew we needed to catch and, probably place top three or four before the day started. I didn't expect the short round to be as easy as it was, but, I think you definitely get anticipation, and, anytime you're in these moments, it's getting down to the end of the year, and you know the big moments when you need to do good.
Yeah.
I think if you don't have a little bit of nerves, then you're not really telling the truth. But,
yeah.
I think that's also part of the reason we love doing what we do. It gets our blood flowing. There's really nothing else you get to do that you get that feeling.
Yeah, what do you do with your anticipation? Like, when you are nervous, do you recognize, like, oh, man, I'm nervous, I better, like, take some deep breaths? Or do you pray? Or do you just remind yourself not to crossfire because you're excited? Like, what what do you do?
Yeah, I do. I pray a little bit, which I pray every time before I rope.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of guys do that. But, then after that, it's really just, deep breaths. You just remind yourself it's just a steer. It ain't nothing
mm-hmm.
different. It don't matter if it's, to win a world title or in the practice pen. Either way, I want to catch them. So,
mm-hmm.
You really just kind of just tell yourself to go rope the cow and do what you need to do. It ain't, don't make it too complicated.
Yeah. Yep. How did your roan horse feel? He's been good all summer, right? Is that the one you've been on all summer? CJ? Is that his name?
Yep.
CJ. Mm-hmm.
He's doing awesome. And he's really good for setups like those too, because that steer kind of wanted to go just a half step left anyway, and that left wall at Ellensburg's not very far away, and so probably one of his best attributes. He scores really good and he can run pretty good. He let me sit there kind of with Clay, let the steer get out there to where I'm not influencing what direction he goes, and then he's fast enough that I can catch back up to the play and get him built decent. So.
And he very much finishes well enough that he lets you help Clay a little bit at that point of the run. Don't worry. Yeah. Clay said it.
Yeah.
So it's not like
no, he does. Yeah. He does a good job. He used to be stronger at the horn when I first got him. I had to kind of take that out of him just a little bit. He was almost too violent to the cow. But yeah, he does perfect. He kind of just stays with you just long enough, and then I'm a little bit heavy-handed when I catch one. I get a little excited, so he lets me pull on his face way too hard and doesn't seem to get too upset at me, so I like that.
I guess I like that too then. I'm glad that it's working well.
Yeah.
It's certainly appropriate or necessary or helpful at this point of Clay's situation that you can help him a little bit on the back end. That's for sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it's Tuesday right now. You guys are headed to Blackfoot tonight, or what's the rest of the schedule?
Yeah, we go to Blackfoot tonight, and then we are in Colfax, Washington, Thursday, and Lewiston Friday, and that's assuming we get Saturday at Puyallup. So I think the way the points are, I'm pretty sure we're going to be Saturday over there. So yeah, we get to go to a few. Colfax is just a smaller rodeo, but obviously our rodeo count doesn't really matter, so we're just trying to kind of get anything in we can.
Yeah. So now your kids have probably gone home, right? Are they back in school, or are they?
My wife homeschools them.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
Yeah, they're at home, and I'm going to fly home right after the tour finale. We got like a 5-day break between the finals and the tour finale, and then St. George is on the 17th. So I get to fly home for 4 or 5 days here.
But it's going to come the whole way down to the wire at this point with you, right? Like, as far as you guys are entered, there's...
Well, yeah, we're entered like we're going to have to do crazy stuff last week because really, honestly, it's so tight that, one big week might be enough to secure it, but if you don't get that, I mean, I think it goes all the way down to, and it feels like it goes down to at least 20th, has a really good chance still. So,
yeah.
And obviously once the tour finale and Pendleton get done, we'll have a way better idea, but we're prepared to do whatever it takes at this point.
Yeah. And I know after Cheyenne, we talked to everybody and they said 81 was the number that they were shooting for. I'm just looking at the healing standings right now. Paul's 13th at 79. Could darn sure take more than that, I feel like, at this point of the game. Do you have any thoughts on that, or have you looked at it at all?
I hadn't really paid attention to the healing side too much. I've been just kind of focused on the head side. But the number we've had in our mind the whole time was 85.
85, okay.
I think it'll be less than that, but I think just to give ourselves a finishing point of I think if we can get to that number, that should be enough. But, man, it's so crazy this year. I don't remember in the past it being quite this, everybody at the bottom's winning. I mean, it just seems like somebody will kind of get to where it's like, oh, man, they might be slipping too far away, and then all of a sudden they win 6,000 or 7,000 somewhere, and then they're right back in the mix. And it's like, like I said, it's probably as deep of a field going in the last 3 weeks here as I've seen in a long time. And I think part of that's when you get, there's two kind of the veterans at the bottom there with Clay and Eric Rogers and Senegini too that have been there, done that. And I think that makes it tougher too when you got guys that have, made it numerous times that are towards the bottom.
Yeah, Senegini just came out of absolutely nowhere. I mean, not nowhere. He would he's going to yell at me for even saying that because he listens to these, and he'll be like,
But I don't think I've written his name once this summer, but he's been taking his own road, it looks like. And gosh, Rogers.
Yeah, he's done a good job.
Yeah, and Rogers and Payton too. It's very interesting time. So
yes. Yeah, it is.
I am glad you guys had such a good week, and I will hopefully maybe we'll just check in every Monday or Tuesday because you won something, and we'll just end this easily and not without stress. So
yes, I'm hoping after the tour finale we're talking.
Yeah.
we're breathing a lot easier then. That'd be nice.
Heck yeah. All right, Jake. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Sean.
Talk to you later. Bye.
I hope y'all enjoyed this episode brought to you by Purina. Check back on the teamropingjournal.com for the full story on Ellensburg later this week.